Hey there, this is Blair Williams. I'm the creator of the MemberPress plugin for WordPress. It's a membership plugin. And let's talk about building a membership site, shall we? I've been doing this for quite a while. The first membership plugin that, well, actually the first membership site that I participated in was a custom membership site about, I don't know, it's been about 12 years now. So. And ever since then, I've kind of had a passion for both creating membership sites, creating tools around membership sites. I just think that they're a really great way to monetize people's efforts. Working, trying to build up a following online can be really difficult, and it can even be more difficult to make money at. And so I just thought I'd put together a little presentation here that will show you kind of what a membership site is, what you can do to kind of get started developing a membership site or creating one. You don't have to be a developer to create a membership site, by the way. And just in general, how to get started. I also wanted to kind of go over a couple of different membership sites that have been created using my plugin and some other, membership sites that are out there that you've probably already, become a member of and didn't even realize that it was a membership site. I mean, big companies are producing membership sites nowadays, and also small businesses, even solo, preneur kind of people are definitely, in the game. They're making membership sites all the time. And so let's get started here. I've just got a kind of a little presentation here that we can kind of go off of. The big problem I find with people who start a blog or start even like social media campaigns, they just work feverishly, and sometimes like they'll build a giant community of people, and then they won't even realize how to make money at it. It might be really fulfilling. It might be just great for them, for their social life, maybe for their ego, but really you can't really continue doing something forever without making money at it. My accountant always tells me that money is like blood in the body, right? You have to have blood flowing through your body in order to survive, and as with any business, you need money to survive. And furthermore, even to help people, you kind of need to have some kind of a perpetuating mechanism on your site to enable you to really fund the things that you want to do to help your members, to produce the best content and that sort of thing. And so, but a lot of times people just, work themselves to death and never really be able to make a go of it. If you want to boost your revenue on your website, traditionally there have been just a few ways to do it, right? One is donations. So donations, I've tried that. I've actually produced free software products. I've got several free plugins on the WordPress repository. If you go out and look, we'll get to that in a little bit. If you don't know what the WordPress, I guess it's called the plugin directory. We developers from back in the day, we always just called it the WordPress repository, but it's actually called the plugin directory, and there's a lot of plugins there. But anyway, if you go there and look, you'll see that I have several free plugins out there, and I haven't had a lot of really great success with the free plugins in terms of just people donating money. And I've also had clients that I've built projects for that have tried to rely on donations. And unless you have like a really great cause, it can be difficult. Ads also can be difficult. Oh, I'll just throw up some, Google AdSense on my on my website, on my blog, and I'll make money. Well, I mean, for those of you who've been around the block a little bit, you know that you have to sustain a really large amount of traffic in order to make it, to make any kind of real money at it. And so it can be a lot of work and not a lot of reward for that work, because again, you're kind of giving your money away, or your content away. There are other ways that you can monetize. I would kind of lump kind of affiliate kind of stuff in with ads, and that I've had much better success with affiliate, promoting affiliate products on my blog than I have with ads. But still, it's kind of an ad-based setup, and so donations or ads. It's kind of the traditional dilemma, right? If you want to make money from your niche content, probably neither of those are going to work for you. I mean, if you really want to make money, so what is the solution, right? Like, what's kind of this holy grail that that everybody's been looking for years on how to make money on your blog or on, look, even if you have like niche content, say you know how to play the banjo really well and you want to make money somehow, you're not going to make money throwing those videos directly up on, well, you might make a little bit of money on YouTube. You threw them up there, but you're not going to really make a ton of money, especially on niche content. Maybe you have an expertise or something like that. So really, the solution for I would say niche kind of content, a good solution is a membership site. So we need to maybe start thinking here about charging people for access to our content. I know it's a crazy idea, and it might just work. I don't know. We'll see, right? So people get confused sometimes when I talk about membership sites. They don't quite understand what that is. I mean, you hear a lot about it, especially in kind of the internet marketing industry, and also just kind of in general, especially when you're dealing with writers and content marketers. But really, let's kind of dive in a little bit about what a membership site is. And this definition I'm going to give you here is not necessarily all-inclusive, but it's a general kind of rule of thumb as to what a membership site is. So I'm going to just read it here. A membership site is a website you can use to charge recurring fees for access to your content, unique features, products, and or community. There are some other use cases for a membership site. One would be like a company, like a portal kind of a thing, where you could have access or just like free resources for people, but it's just kind of a private website to you. But generally, a membership site is a way to turn your content or your niche knowledge into a business. Into a business that actually can make some money. A lot of times people get membership sites confused with like an online shopping cart, right? I mean, how many of us have a Shopify cart out there, or WooCommerce website or something like that? This is different. This isn't like selling T-shirts, and I think although you can sell T-shirts with a membership site, I've seen good success with that. But really, like a cart is usually like a kind of an Amazon style checkout and kind of a feel of an actual store. A membership site is going to focus around your relationship with your members, and it's going to have kind of as such. It should have a different feel than like a traditional shopping cart checkout even. You're signing up for this premium content, and it's going to be delivered to you. Almost like, kind of like the difference between like a newspaper subscription and, going to the store to, buy a book, or something like that, right? You would sign up for a subscription to something. That's what a membership is. So a membership is something, and really, like any membership site that you're going to create, you're most likely going to want to, create not just the content, which is going to be a big part of it, but also just a mechanism for keeping your members entertained or informed or just engaged, otherwise engaged. And so any membership site that you produce should have ways to, say, email people at critical times. So like one example kind of that comes to mind, and we may talk about this a little in a little bit, but email reminders. So like like dunning type stuff, like your credit card has expired, or hey, we've got this new course that we want to introduce you to, or maybe there's some kind of a special offer or something like that. And so maybe a cart can have some of those types of things, but a membership site is going to be something that is a little bit more streamlined for the relationship, and not as much about, I want this, and this, and then I'm going to do a checkout, and then my transaction is done, and boom, I'm done, right? A membership site is, I'm going to buy a membership from you, and then I'm going to continue to receive value from you over time. And so I have a bullet point down here, SaaS style checkout. If you don't know what a SaaS is, it's software as a service. That's the acronym. And so if you've signed up for any kind of a software as a service, I'm sure that you've kind of gone through a checkout that's a little bit more like this. You're signing up for something. Okay, so there's a bunch of different types of membership sites that we could go over here. But like generally, there's some kind of content you're going to protect, whether it be video or audio or blog type content, on your site, or maybe ebooks. I've seen ebooks. I've seen podcasts are actually a great one. I don't even think that's on here, but people will create premium podcasts with our software all the time. Maybe you are a developer, or you have access to like a development team, in which case you could use a membership site to restrict access to some kind of application or feature. But there are a lot of different types of membership sites, and I really think this is kind of where people get a little bit confused about it, because there are a lot of different ways that you can approach a membership site and make money on it. I mean, if you look at my products, like with memberpress.com, it is a membership site. Even though I'm selling software on there, we're selling a product, right? We're actually selling a membership to not only get access to that product, but also to get ongoing support for that product. And so even something like that, even distributed stuff, like software or PDFs or whatever, can actually fall into a membership site. Things that you may not even think of. Some of the you may already kind of know some membership sites that are already out there. I think the biggest one that I always kind of jump to is this lynda.com. I mean, if you've seen that, or Pluralsight. That's kind of a traditional kind of membership site. So the idea with lynda.com is you sign up and you just you basically pay a certain amount of money every month, and then you get access to this huge library of videos, right? Pluralsight, I would say, is similar to that. They have expert kind of videos on all kinds of different technology-based subject matter and stuff. There's newspaper paywalls, right? So like, if you've ever gone to a newspaper and tried to view maybe more than the allotted number of articles for the day, so you can look at the first one, the second one, third one, fourth one, but then on the fifth one you're going to get blocked. right? They want you to sign up for a subscription to their newspaper website, right? Because they want to be able to charge, for access. And so those would be considered, a membership site. Audible is one of my favorites. That's a membership site. So even though it may not look like, kind of a blog or whatever, they're selling subscriptions for you to, download books every month, right? Animal Jam's one that my kids are on all the time, and it gives them access to kind of a, an immersive, kind of online game, a massive multiplayer game for kids, right? And so there's just a lot of them. I mean, I guess you could even consider, Netflix or that kind of thing as a membership site as well. And so I mean, basically any kind of site where you're going to be charged for access to content, or you're going to be forced to register in order to get content, could be considered a membership site. So with that expansive and broad definition of a membership site, let's kind of talk about what we can expect, or what you can expect if you decide to create a membership site. So a lot of people look at membership sites and they think, dang, I'm going to create like this money-making machine. Like I actually had visions of this, honestly, like back when I kind of started my business. I thought, I'm going to create this crazy, money-making machine, and I just kind of envisioned it as like this Dr. Seuss style machine that would just kind of run in my basement somewhere, and it would just spit out, $100 bills, kind of a thing. And so you may think, like once you, launch your membership site, I'm going to be just raking it in. It's just going to be tons of money. And you don't really think about the work that's going to be involved, right? So I've got Louis C.K. here saying, nope. It's not going to be most likely. I mean, look, every audience is different, right? So you may have a huge following. If you have a huge following and you've already got content up that people are consuming, you've got a high amount of traffic, and your members or your users are already like super engaged, maybe it will just turn into this, like maybe you're kind of overdue for creating a membership site, and there's this vast untapped resource that you have available to you of members that just jump on and sign up and just start, they want access to anything that you produce, right? And that's great. I've seen that happen, and I hope that happens to you, but I think that it's wise to kind of set the expectation that this is going to be a lot of work, it's going to be rewarding because it's your own environment, it's your own group of people, your own kind of tribe, so to speak. But you're going to have to work at it, and you're going to have to do marketing, and you're going to have to really, just beat the brush and get people to sign up. And then once they've signed up, I mean, this is the thing about a membership site. I'm not trying to, dissuade you from starting one, but you really have to keep them engaged. I mean, especially if you're doing, like a monthly subscription. I think the psychology behind it is that, if you are not producing content or producing value, shall we say, monthly, or at least monthly, probably even more than that, then your members are going to just drop off. They're going to, so you always have to fight churn, is what they call it. Members canceling, quitting, stopping your service. And so what you need to do is get a system in place. And this isn't necessarily having to do with software or anything. This is just and there are other talks, particularly by Angela Eschler and others in this conference that they've got this kind of stuff dialed in, right? You need to create a content generating engine that will produce some kind of content, and it may be through a service like Angela's, or it could be maybe you have to produce it yourself. I mean, we have a really good customer that runs a Pilates site. It's called pilatesology.com, and what they are continually producing videos. They go out and they're always videotaping, and they're continually providing value for their audience. And it's a great service, hugely successful. But I'll tell you, those guys work really hard. And so when you create a membership site, you've got to be committed not only to the success of your membership site, but to the success of your audience, whatever you're trying to convey. So really, set your expectations to an appropriate, level. I know the first membership site I launched for a client, they kind of did think that, these mobs of customers were going to just be, throwing money at them as soon as it just touched the internet, as soon as the site was just live on the internet. And of course, they hadn't done any marketing, they hadn't done any of that kind of stuff. It was just crickets, And so, but over time, as we started doing some marketing for them, and they started getting signups. It worked out great. They started making a very healthy revenue stream from their membership site. So it just is a matter of just putting in the time and creating a process and just sticking with it. So now you're kind of maybe thinking, I'm not technical, I don't really know kind of even where to get started. It just seems pretty complicated, what you're saying. And I get that. And, sometimes, as a technical person, I'm a developer, things may seem easy for me. But I do have a lot of customers, and the customers are not very technical. That's kind of our market. We specialize in, people who are not necessarily developers. I think in order to create any kind of a website, you're going to have to at least have some kind of technical savvy. I mean, you're going to have to know how to use a web browser and maybe unzip a zip file here and there. But you're not going to need to know how to, create code or really get under the hood that much. And so, really, when you're starting a membership site, you've got you've got four main options that we'll talk about here, right? The first is there are hosted membership site services out there, and I think a couple of those would include the Rainmaker platform, which is excellent, by the way, produced by the Copy Blogger group, and I think that their solution runs on WordPress as well, so it's really nice. And then there's another service called MemberGate. And that's been around for a long time. Those guys, they've got it dialed in. I would say that, the drawback to using a hosted service, and I can't speak specifically to those two services, but I've of course heard horror stories in the past of other services. But whatever service you use, check that you can get your data out of, a hosted service if you go that route, and also because everything is kind of maintained by a third party. You're going to want to make sure that you can do everything that you want to do. You can get your data out of them, and generally they're going to be a little more expensive, just because not only are you looking for for them to host your website, but you're also, in addition to that, looking for them to kind of manage and maintain this whole membership site component of your site. And so and honestly, it's an excellent choice for a lot of people. And if that's right down your alley, I would look at Rainmaker, as an option. So you can also use standalone membership software. An example of this would be a software package I actually used to use called Amember. It's been around for a long time. It's a standalone PHP application that you just run on any web host. And I would say that the drawback of using something like that would be just that there's a lot. It just seems like there's a lot of hodgepodge stuff that you have to kind of hook up. Usually, people will use it with WordPress, and we'll talk about WordPress in a little bit if you don't know what that is. But they'll use it with WordPress anyway. It's a really well developed solution, and it works. It's solid, and it works well. So that's an option for you. You can develop a custom membership site. I've done that for people, right? And that can be really great. I mean, you can ditch any features you don't need, and you can really streamline to what you want. But then you're maintaining software, and so it can be hugely expensive, and you're hiring developers, and so I think for most people it's not even worth the mess. In fact, even if you're a developer, I don't even know if it's worth the mess, because you've got other things you got other fish to fry, right? You got to worry about content, you got to worry about your business, you got to worry about a million other things. So what I'm going to talk about here, I think for the rest of the presentation, is building this out on WordPress. And this is kind of my bread and butter, since I do have a membership plugin for WordPress. But WordPress it's everywhere. I mean, it runs like 25% of the web, and so it's a great solution. You probably already used it. Maybe you don't know if you've used it or not, but you've probably already used it. And it's super extendable. There are tens of thousands of plugins for WordPress, so you can make it do a lot of different things. That's one of the real benefits of it. And so I would definitely lean towards using a WordPress as your site. And so really, a couple of other things to consider with WordPress too is that if you develop your site on WordPress, every designer has used WordPress within reason, right? Any kind of web designer, any kind of web developer has at least seen and tinkered with WordPress. And so whereas like the custom solution or some of these other solutions, you may have a hard time, if you have kind of custom needs, if you want to, maybe, develop out some custom features for your membership site, you might have some issues if you're not using something like WordPress that a lot of people know. So with that said, let's just kind of talk about what a membership plugin should do. So WordPress already takes care of creating pages and posts and handling comments, anything that a blog or kind of a normal website would do. It has themes, right? So you can just buy a theme and install it on your WordPress website. Oh, before I forget, I should probably clarify that there are two different types of WordPress. So you've seen commercials on television for WordPress.com, and there are a lot of blogs that are written on WordPress.com. When you're building a membership site, you want to use what's called self-hosted WordPress. You don't need to get too bent out of shape about that, because almost every web host out there will kind of give you a WordPress website by default nowadays. So like Bluehost or HostGator or GoDaddy or any of those are going to have some kind of a way to do like a one-click WordPress install. I recommend using web hosts that have kind of been built from the ground up to use WordPress. They're a little more expensive, but I mean, if you're building a membership site and you're basing your business on this, I would definitely invest the money in it. The one that we currently use is called WP Engine. It's just wpengine.com, and I think it's like $30 a month, and it's just stellar. Another great one is Pagely. Those guys are fantastic. Liquid Web is great. So you can kind of look around, but WP Engine, the one that I'm the most familiar with, you basically sign up for it, and you click a button, and they just give you a website right there. You've got a website, and eventually you have to kind of change the domain name to whatever your custom domain name is. But they help you with it. It's not. There's no programming or anything. They just tell you kind of what to do, and they have a lot of documentation on it. It's not that bad. So with that said, a membership plugin really it only does a few things. I mean, generally speaking, you're gonna, like it says here on the slide, you're gonna lock down your content, charge credit cards, and track memberships. That's basically what it should do. So in addition to all the stuff that WordPress does, a membership plugin is going to add these additional capabilities. But a good membership plugin should also have a few other features. One is called dripping content, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a way to, so say you have 10 courses that you've written on, playing the banjo, right? And the first course, people will get on month 1 of their subscription. You can set up MemberPress or other membership plugins or other solutions to drip the second course the second month, the third course the third month, the fourth course the fourth month. You need to be able to integrate it with other services, especially like autoresponders. So an autoresponder would be like a mass email marketing kind of solution, like MailChimp. I think is probably the big boy in that industry. But then there's Aweber, which has been around for a long time. We personally love ConvertKit and ActiveCampaign. Those are really great as well. But really, you want to really dive deep into keeping your members engaged, and email is a good way to do that. But it's not the integrations should not end at just autoresponders. There's your membership plugin should be able to really enable you to make it as easy as possible to do this without code or without custom anything, right? Sometimes it is necessary to do some custom stuff, but generally speaking, a good membership plugin should do a lot of stuff out of the box, especially nowadays. You should be able to see how you're doing. You should be able to track your expenses, see how many signups you're getting, how many failed transactions, all that kind of stuff. You should also be able to automate your member experience. That means like send out reminders. We kind of talked about that earlier, like dunning emails. Making sure that people's credit cards are updated. That can be a real source of lost revenue if you don't have that in place. So there are several membership plugins. Mine is usually listed among kind of the top ones, but there are other ones out there. So you have a lot of options. Most are going to lock down your content. They'll handle billing, and really, when you look in the grand scheme of things, they are wildly inexpensive. I mean, just super inexpensive for what you get. Any of them, and we're not the cheapest, but there are other ones that are more expensive. But like any of us are just super cheap for what you get. These are some of the sites built with MemberPress. I'll try to put some URLs for these out on YouTube. But I just kind of wanted to wrap up here. Well, here's my info here. I think you can get that elsewhere as well. But wanted to kind of show you a site that was built using MemberPress. I'm never supposed to do a live demo apparently, because it never works out all that well. But this is a site that I just kind of whipped up, and it is basically kind of it's a fake site. I mean, but it just kind of showcases what you can kind of do with a membership plugin. So it looks just kind of like a normal website. Your kind of standard, kind of scroll here, parallax here. But MemberPress is running on this site, and it implements this, or it generates this pricing table here. So I've got 3 different levels I can sign up for. I also have this this page here that it breaks out the courses. Currently, I've only got 1 course that has been completed. I mean, not really, but but one that is linked to it. And if I click on this as just a normal user, it'll just tell me that I don't have access. So, yeah, so MemberPress is protecting this page. It's basically not letting me through because I don't have a sign up yet. And so if I go through here, you can see that I can sign up for this. I'll just sign up for it real quick here. All right. I can go to a second page here where I can see my initial payment here, my all my details there. Then I'll just put in this is a test credit card number. This isn't a functioning site. So don't try to use this on Amazon. It's not going to work. So then I should be able to sign up here. Okay, so now I see a thank you page here, and I should be able to come here, and now I should be able to access the materials here. So I click overview, and now I should be able to have an access to my overview, which is a video of my kids loading pumpkins. So there you have it. MemberPress also will give you the ability to, and any membership plugin will probably do something similar to this. I have an account page here that I can come here and I can see, my name, my last name. I can see the subscriptions that I'm subscribed to here. I can see the payments that I have made, and I can log out. So fairly simple stuff. This is a very light example. Some of the other links that I'm providing on the YouTube page will definitely give you a little bit more in depth. But yeah, so I guess that's building a membership site in a nutshell, right? Thanks a lot for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Bye.